Yo, Irv and Co. Irv and Co. If you're looking for a podcast, here you go. Irv and Co. Irv and Co. If you're looking for a podcast, here you go.
All right.
Go. What it is, what it ain't, what it's gonna be, man. It's your boy Irv and Co. South Florida's very own traveling podcast, getting our community one business at a time, highlighting those gems in the city. What's up, Amanda? How you doing?
I'm great. I'm fabulous. I'm having a wonderful time of my life. I'm here.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Good.
That's what's up. And the giggles you hear in the background is none other than the creator, the owner of LitWicks Candles, Tracy. I met this young lady on social media, and man, listen, when I say like an inspiration, I don't know when she sleeps. Like whenever I'm on, I see she on, I'm like, yo, she be out here getting it in. I ran into her at a pop-up shop, and I was amazed by the presentation that they had, and we had to make sure we got them on the show. We got Tracy on the show. So welcome, Tracy of LitWicks Candles. How you doing, Tracy?
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Nah, it was a pleasure. We greatly appreciate you for taking the time to kick it with the co-squad. How you been? How's everything been going with you?
Everything has been going very well. LitWicks is actually progressing very well. We are just a little over a year old, and so far it's been a great experience for us.
Well, what brought you into candles? Because y'all, like you say, a year old. It seems like the way y'all been doing this, like you've been doing this for about decades.
Yeah, we get a lot of that feedback. I'm going to be very transparent and tell you the thing that got me into candles was actually COVID. I was an avid candle lover. I spent, on average, maybe $500 a month on Bath and Body Works candles. And I decided one day that, man, I can do this. I can make my own. And I just went for it and just gave it a try. And from then it just kind of exploded into just making them for my friends to try me, trial and error, to let me know what was working, what was not working. And then just starting to develop the craft a little bit better and grow that craft into something that became a passion.
Okay, well, how did you, like, when you said you wanted to start making them for yourself, like what gave you that inspiration to be like, yo, I'm gonna go look over here and I'm gonna be able to figure out how this goes?
You know what? The inspiration actually came from another YouTube handler who was providing during the beginning of COVID some classes to help people get through depression or to get through separation anxiety, to get over like the loss of their job. And she was offering these courses on how to make candles, standard candles. And I was taking them day in and day out, just learning the craft. And then from then I was like, man, I really like doing this, and then she actually became my mentor, into saying, hey, you can progress. This is what you can do. I'm not on her level yet, but I'm hoping to be there one day. And that's the goal. But she really helped me through where I am today and what it means to be a candle creator, where you can take it.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Amanda.
Oh, so my question is, what is the proper way of using a candle?
Can you guys hear me, Irv? I think you're
Oh no, I hear you. Yeah, you definitely froze
on my end.
Yeah, it looked like you froze for a moment on my end.
Gotta love those technical errors, right?
It's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll definitely figure it out. There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. She's back. She's back. She's back.
Oh, there goes your volume.
Yeah. We definitely need the volume. We want to hear you. We got to hear you.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. No pressure. You might want to repeat the question one more time, Amanda.
My question is, what is the proper way to use a candle and taking care of the candle?
Okay. So the proper way, which most people won't do, the proper way actually to use your candle is to make sure that you clip the wick prior to even burning it. For the longevity of the candle and for a proper burn and a proper smell, you always want to make sure that you clip your wick before you even light it up. And then in the interim between clipping that wick, you want to make sure that each time that you unlight it or blow it out. Or a lot of people like to use what is called like a cuff. It's almost like a tool that helps let the burn go out on the candle. A lot of people don't use that, to be honest. They'll just take their mouth and blow the candle out, but you want to make sure that you cut it every time you light it. What happens is the candle itself actually has a very, very good memory. So it will remember where you left it off once you cut it, as well as where it needs to burn and in the position that it needs to burn. So most of the time, a lot of people will burn their candles and then they'll blow it out with their mouths, and then it'll burn uneven the next time. Or it won't, it'll have a lot of soot or a lot of smoke, and they don't understand why. And it's because of that, not cutting that wick properly or not caring for that candle properly when you first light it. And that's very, very, very important, actually, the memory of your burn.
Well, I definitely started since you started expressing that on your page. And I definitely see a difference in it.
Yeah.
So definitely I appreciate you for pointing that out, because I never noticed it. I just usually I put a top on top of mine, or my wife hates the smoke. So
yeah,
we put
in the jar.
Top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but yeah, right before we burn it, I cut it again, and then we light it again, and then it's like you said, it seems like it even lasts longer.
It does, and it should burn cleaner also, which means when you do burn, like with our candles, what my goal is that when it burns, it should burn all the way down to the end of the actual jar itself, to leave the least amount of remnants inside of the candle jar. So I try to make sure that when I'm testing them myself, and just so you know, all of the candles that I actually put out, I make sure I test them all first, at least 24 to 48 hours. Make sure that the smell goes, so I can get the longevity of the candle. So if you ask me, hey, how many hours should it burn? I could say to you, hey, it burns at least 3 days, at least 48 hours more, 52 hours. If it's large, maybe 72 hours, depends on the size, of the candle and how you care for it. Awesome.
That's interesting. And how long of the wick should be on the candle?
You want to leave about a 1/4 inch. A lot of people think the wick has to be so, the length of the wick, if it's a 7 inch, a 9 inch, or 11, but it doesn't. You can use the minimal amount of wick in your candle, and it will still burn to a tunnel. It should be more like a circular circumference, that's burning itself evenly throughout the whole candle, and that's what you should be seeing as it's burning, like almost like a rotation. That's what you should see.
Okay. Got it. My next question is, what is your biggest failure thus far?
My biggest failure with LitWicks actually could be maybe not having the right chemical balance. Sometimes you may create a scent or create a candle, and it will smell great going out, and you'll think it's all about chemistry. So you'll think you use an 8% fragrance, where if it's a softer tone, you should use a 9% or a 10%. Usually your most fragrant candles use up to about a 9 or 10% fragrance equation. That just lets you know when you get ready to burn or throw your candle, sorry, I'm just wondering, that it will burn further per square feet in your home. So let's say if you're burning a 4-ounce candle, it should do maybe a bathroom size, just to give people an idea. So a bathroom size, it should fill up your bathroom size, and then the smell should venture out into your room. However, if you're doing a 9-ounce, you should be using that or being able to use that in the circumference of your whole kitchen. And then it should fragrance out into a room. And then as it goes bigger and bigger is more square footage that it covers.
You are very knowledgeable about candles. I mean, oh my goodness. I never even thought of none of this. Like, I'm just like, I like the scent. I'm gonna buy the candle and I'm gonna put it here. Like, I didn't even know that the sizes matter. Like, that's crazy.
It does.
I thought you would know all of this by now. You such a Breaking Bad fan. Love seeing that chemistry.
Oh, right? Yeah. You should know, for real.
That's crazy. Like, you definitely not. So was this stuff that you learned from your mentor with the YouTube page?
Absolutely, I did. I learned a lot from her, including the trial and error. And of course, just like anything, you want to make sure that you are able to perfect it to meet who you are as a person. Like with me, I know that represents who I am and, what it means to me. So I want to make sure that the product gives that representation, like, when you get it, of course, for her, whatever her goal or her end goal is, her products would mean that to her, but mine means something different.
Okay. Well, I always wanted to know this though. Like, how do you decide the names for your candles? Because I love the names for your candles.
Oh my gosh. Everybody asks me that. Everybody. Okay. So the names of the candles actually come from after I burn them. So I think it's a feeling. It's how it makes me feel. I just kind of pick the names at random. There is no sheet of paper. There is no pre-notion on what it's going to be named. It kind of like comes to me as I create the scent. I get a lot of people who ask me to mix a lot of the scents. And for me, I don't mind doing that, but I feel like if it's not something that actually speaks to me and I know that it will give you longevity on that scent, I usually won't go for it. Also, I like to make sure that it comes to me. I'm very spiritual when it comes to certain things. I like to know that there's maybe a meaning behind it. There's a, last behind it, or, you can keep this name for a longer period of time, just having something that's representing just your present. So I try to make sure that it's something that could last longer than we anticipated would.
So,
especially in the names as well. And they're fun. I like to come up with fun things that I think people are thinking of all day, because candle making for me also is a stress reliever. You know what I mean? I de-stress by doing that. I do work full time. So, having the 2 full-time jobs is why you see me up all times at night.
I see.
Wow.
I see. Yeah, I could wake up at like 3:30 in the morning just because I'm an early bird. And I'm like, yo, she just posted, huh? Wait, how did she do this? How did she do this? So, but I was gonna ask, so do you ever like say a name will come to your mind? Do you ever be like, yo, I'm gonna find a scent to match that, or the scent comes first and then the name comes?
I do have a name. I do have names that actually come to mind, and sometimes I'll think of, man, that would be really good. Let's say with lemonder and lavender, or I'll try to put the 2 scents together by creating a name and saying, man, maybe that would be a really good name for these 2 mix, or tropical blend or something. So it's not just having the scent. Sometimes it's also the name as well.
So when So Fresh So Clean came out, because that's one of my favorites that you got so far that I've used. What was when you smelled that? Is that the vibe that came with that? Like So Fresh So Clean.
Absolutely. So Fresh So Clean actually came from not only a music blend, but it came from just a music blend. I vibe. I like to listen to music and stuff when I'm creating the candles, and sometimes some of the verbiage that is thrown out through the music, I'll kind of capture that as well, into the scent as it's, boiling. The whole house is usually my house. You come to my house, it's like all kind of smells going on. So can't have anybody with any type of sinus or, what I mean, or anything like that going on, because it'd be like, woo. But normally we're, vibing to some type of music, and then it'll just hit you, So Fresh and So Clean did come from a music vibe, as well as it was just so fresh. It was clean, as if we cleaned the house. We were like, this is just, ideal for having that name.
I must have that scent right there. It just gives me a good feeling. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like I burn that, and once that, it's just like I really just want to just lay back and chill.
Good.
Like, that's really. I like that's so far. That's my favorite one.
I'm happy to hear that, because that's something that I get a lot also, and I want to give off that vibe. I want to know that it's more of a relaxing. I'm a very transparent, happy type of person, so I don't really have many stressors, no matter what's going on in life. So I try to make sure that comes through the candles as well, so that people can feel that it's okay. You notice that on my page I post a lot of positivity. I'm very heavy in the community. I love giving back. Anything that I can get involved in, I'll get involved in as far as giving back. And I want LitWicks to speak for that, and now and for the future. I want people to understand it's just more of just, hey, making candles. It's about a movement, as well as an emotion as well.
Yeah. Go ahead, Amanda. My bad. I feel like I'm taking over. I'm taking over. My bad.
When are you not taking over, Irv?
You're good.
So, what is the difference in using a soy candle versus others that you probably see that's mostly convenient?
Yes. So the most convenient or the most purchased candle wax is probably paraffin. And the reason for that is because it is a blended wax that is more of a plastic base, which a lot of people don't know. I've been doing a lot of research on it. It emits a lot of smoke into the air. It has been known to cause a lot of nasal compression, maybe even allergies. It hasn't been proven yet, but maybe even allergies because of the chemical that is used to, comprise in the paraffin wax. Soy, I chose soy because it's biodegradable. It's safer, not just because it's biodegradable, but safer for anyone who's having issues with maybe sinus or pressure. If you ever smelled like the eucalyptus that I've heard people say that it's literally open them up, like open up their sinus cavity, help them to breathe better in their home, things like that. Whereas if you use a mixed wax, a paraffin, it counteracts that. I guess because it's a chemical base. So it's burning off all those chemicals as you smell it. Whereas the soy, it burns clean.
Okay.
So it doesn't emit as, the chemical. Honestly, the truth is all wax has some type of chemical. You can't make anything without a chemical. However, you want it to choose something that's the safest balance for someone who's going to be using your products. And for me, it would be the soy, because the soy, again, it's, eco-friendly, and it's safer for someone who's going to be using it.
Even though you use beeswax?
I don't use beeswax.
No, not you. I mean, like, I've seen other candle
beeswax is I'm not going to knock any other wax, coconut, bees, they're all beeswax is not necessarily biodegradable. It's a heavier wax. So when you think of like an olive oil, that's when you think of like a beeswax. So imagine how your olive oil burns if you put it in a hot pan and then it starts to smoke where you think it's not supposed to, because you think it's supposed to go up to 500 degrees. It's the same thing you're getting with the beeswax as it smokes down as well. So the thing is that soy is easier to work with. If you're going to be working with the beeswax type of compound, right? You have to actually make sure you pick your wicks that are going to match that wax as well. So you want to use a wax base, something that's going to burn evenly with it, which eventually can end up costing you more, more money, more having to increase the price of your products. For me, I like to make sure I use products and consumables that are lower in cost. So this way, it doesn't cost me as much, long term.
Right.
And I can extend that cost to the customer. So you notice my candles are not very expensive. I try to make sure that I keep it affordable, and I keep the scents likable, something that everyone will enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. Being that candle making is a very saturated industry, what helped you continue your journey as a candle maker and make you stand out?
For me, I believe it's pricing versus product. I don't try to oversell. I give the customer what they want. All of my repeat customers are getting the items that they are used to, or something that they actually enjoy having, versus trying to have a saturated market with offering everything in the world just to be able to have a consumer base. So for me, I think it's price versus product, customer service. I always like to make sure that I add a special touch to everything that I ship out or give. It says a lot, and it also adds a memory, to the person who's ordering from us.
Well, I'm glad. My fault, man. I just want to say something. I ordered from you a couple weeks ago, and man, like when you say customer service, I opened the box and I ain't even want to take the stuff out. Like it just looked so good. When I opened, I want to wait for my wife to get there so she could see what I saw. I was
Nice.
like, yo, look at this. And then you give so much into it. Like I could tell this took time. Like you didn't just throw it in a box and was like, yo, let me ship this out and get this to them as quick as possible. You was like, I could see it was time was taken. You thought about it. It was like you plan, like a plan was made to send this out. But when the person you send it to gets it, they feel like I felt like, yo, I don't know how many you sent out, but I was the only person she sent this out to, because there's no way she
That's
took
how I
time
want you to feel.
to do this.
That's how I want you to feel. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure,
Thank you.
sure. And that like that right there will make me a returning customer for sure.
I appreciate that.
Like,
thank you.
So when to piggyback on what you were saying earlier, like what makes you different or what makes you stand out, those kind of things right there definitely make you stand out. And your presentation, even at the pop-ups, like I literally watch you and your partner set up the table, and I was just like, huh? No, they're not gonna do this. Oh snap, they doing this. Oh snap, they doing this. And
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, the presentation, like, there's no way somebody could walk past your table and not stop and look.
Thank you.
Like that's a difference for sure. Um, my question for you is, you said earlier about 2020, COVID definitely made you jump into candle. How did COVID affect your business in a positive way? Like, made you grind harder, or was it something that was like it was a slow grind, it was a slow start to get into it?
That's a very good question, because as you guys mentioned before, the candle market itself is very saturated. So I wouldn't necessarily say it was a slow market to get into, but what I would say is earning the trust for people to understand that the product is actually there. It was what took time. I anticipated it, I expected it, and I actually wanted it, because I'm the type of, I would want you to try it first. I don't want you to just say, hey, I don't want you to support me and say, okay, I'm supporting another Black business, or let me just support her because for whatever your other inclinations are, whatever your reasonings are. But I want to make sure that you got, whoever's purchasing knows that the product is actually there. So for 2020, for me, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a slow startup. It was more like just a trust factor. It eased its way into earning that, to the customer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what now we spoke on earlier that you work your 2 jobs, and
Yes.
whenever I'm on, I see you on. What does Tracy do for fun to get away from the candles, to get away from work?
I do a lot of staycations.
Vacation.
Yes, ma'am. I think they're very important. I do a lot of meditating. I try to recenter myself every day. I burn the whole sage and just recenter and just make sure that my energy is right. But as far as trips, I do short things. It could be a 24-hour trip. A lot of people think, oh, well, you got to regroup by taking Thursday to Monday. No, you could take a 24-hour, it could be an all-day Wednesday where people, don't expect it. And you take that whole day just to, recenter yourself or regroup. So I have a lot of family activities, go out with, my family and things like that. Try to have a dinner at least twice a month, with them to catch up on everything. Cause we're all busy, but I'm just as busy as they are. So we try to keep the circle kind of close whenever we can.
Yeah, because I've seen you post. Maybe you didn't even post it. I've seen you in other like community things. I'm just like,
yes.
Yeah, when does she have time? Like,
listen, if you call me right now, this Saturday, we're actually doing a very huge event. We partnered. I don't know if you guys seen it. We partnered with Gigi's of Miami. Their organization is for kids with Down syndrome. We partnered with them probably earlier in the year when we first started, and we received an invitation from the mayor of Miami Lakes to come out to the Gigi's, to the Gigi's grand opening, which is actually happening this Saturday in Miami Lakes, which is really good for us, for LitWicks Candles. So we'll be partnering with them actually on Saturday for a huge ribbon cutting and everything. But for me, I have a nephew who actually has autism. So I like to know that I'm very involved, not just on that level, but just in any level of giving back, so that people can understand it's not just us. We grind hard for what we want every day, but there are other people who may not be able to do that. So I like to make sure that they understand that we're still here to help them. We understand, what they're going through, because we're like one paycheck also, or one door closing from maybe that situation, knock on wood, so I never want to forget that anyone could be there.
Right.
Sure.
And April's also the autism awareness.
Correct. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
That's what's up. And I definitely commend you for that, because that's definitely not.
Thank you.
Like, and you don't like, well, that's one of the things too. I noticed that you don't do this for, like, you don't always post a lot of things that you do, but like I say, I see it on different pages. And I'm like, yo, that look like the young lady from LitWicks.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Absolutely.
Like, I think you were behind the table. I don't know if it was food, you were handing out some stuff.
Yes.
And I was like, she's out here.
Yeah, for the homeless, feed the homeless, and the walks and everything usually. Yeah. Try to get involved very heavily.
That's what's up. Well, tell me this: is that something that like you grew up in? Like that was stuff that you always wanted to do, or once you got into like once you got in, you know, in your adult life, you was like, yo, I want to get back.
No, that's something I've always been in. I've always, for my current job or my permanent, let me just say job, I lead what is called the community involvement team. And I like to make sure that I'm involved with, you know, Broward County itself. You know, I do the pantry of Broward. I give back to the moms in need. You know, I just recently met, you know, Showering with Love. And we just built a partnership. I don't even, you know, out of nowhere. You know, so I'm going to be partnering with them also for Mother's Day. But to me, I there's like an underlying passion there. So maybe in my next life, or maybe my next step will be to do something, you know, to have to do with giving back or having an organization. I'm not sure, but I know that it's fulfilling for me, you know, and I like to know that, you know, I can make someone else smile outside of, you know, my norm.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Go ahead, Amanda. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, not a problem, Irv, not a problem. So, as a traveling candle maker, candle creative, as
Yes.
you said, what gives you the most joy and satisfaction with Litwick?
Just seeing the smile when someone smells a Litwick candle or burns it, the reaction is very rewarding. The unexpected result is what gives me the satisfaction and makes me happy, because most of the time I do get, being a Black candle maker, then you know, I get that side eye, you know, I get that, here we go, you know, another candle you know, here we go.
Really?
Yeah, her stuff, what's makes it, let me just go ahead and buy one. But I was like, no, you don't have to buy one, let me give you a little sample first, you know. So it's very rewarding, but they're like, wait, this really does smell good.
Right.
So, yeah.
Have you ever made one? I'm sorry. Have you ever made one or made some? I am sorry. I am sorry. I'm sorry. But have you ever made a scent and then after you were just like, no, that ain't it.
Yes.
I can't let nobody smell this.
Absolutely. Several, not just one, several.
Really?
And I actually have a few that I thought were going to be fantastic. And then I was burning them, and, you know, I had people trying to be like, yes. And then after a while I was like, nah, this ain't it, you know. But then I'm stuck with all of these candles, because normally for me, you know, you buy them in bulk. So you buy your candle vessels by the dozen, you know. So when I'm making my candles, I make them by the dozen, you know. So if there is a batch that actually comes out bad after, you know, me creating it, then normally I'll just either mark it down or just give them away for people to try them. And there's some likes and some dislikes, you know, for the same scent that I thought was horrible. So, you know, but that's part of, you know, your loss in business, which is no big deal. Yeah. You learn from it. Yeah. Definitely.
I'm sorry, Amanda. I'm sorry. I'm for real.
Sure. I'm gonna expect for the next one. Don't worry. How would your customers describe your sense and customer service? I mean, you mentioned it before, but
yes,
like, what do they actually say? What they say?
So my sense, I'll use my most recent one yesterday. I gained a brand new follower and customer. She received one of our baskets yesterday for her birthday and had seen us, let's say, on Instagram, or had heard about us through other people, but actually receiving her feedback was just amazed. She was amazed with the product. She said that she is actually obsessed with the product and that she will continue to buy, which is a good thing. I was really happy to have had that feedback about the product. So I think from hearing that, you know, it's good. I think for me, it's just understand that the person is just in awe, you know, that I actually created something like that. Especially my friends. I get it mostly from my friends. They're like, man, you did that? Okay, you did that. And they see it. They're like, man, you really did that. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I think I did, you know. I don't know. Let's see.
That's pretty.
I don't know. It was a 2-part question. What was your second part? Let's see. I think I answered it.
I think you did. So let me flip it to the harsh part of the question. Has any of your customers had like a harsh comment or harsh criticism that you had to work through? And what was that process like?
So I love to hear the good and the bad. because the bad makes you grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I have had a few customers in the past that actually wanted the scent stronger or expected them to be stronger or or, you know, maybe we're used to or compared, let me say, my product to what it would be a Bath and Body Works product. And for that, what I did was I always accept things back. If you don't like it, give it back. Let me know, you know, let me try again. Let me give you something else as a replacement. What else would you like? I immediately always give money back, including giving you an alternate, you know, product. I stand behind the things that I do. So if you don't like it, I would rather say, hey, take your money back and let me give you something else to try. And then give me your feedback, because I want to know if maybe that new product changes the way that you feel, or maybe changes your thought process on my products, which it actually had. You know, so maybe it was just a scent that was chosen at the time, but I appreciated that feedback because that allowed me to say, hey, you know, not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. You know, not everyone's going to like your product, and that's okay as well. You know, but having that constructive criticism helps you grow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. How often do you do pop-ups?
ooh, with the exception for March, I was probably doing 3 a month.
Ooh.
Now that we're in April, I took the first 2 weeks of April not to do any pop-ups, and now I'm getting back into them. So I try to do at least 3 a month, you know, if not some in between. But yeah, I'm going to keep that same pattern, probably do 3 a month. Yeah.
Okay.
It's so funny because there's so many in Florida, and I get so many pop-up requests. Like it's out of this world. So I don't even know. I'm like, okay, I'll try, you know, try to fit everything in. But yeah, I get a lot.
That good.
I get a lot. I'm like, wow, this is a lot. But yeah. So try. I'll try.
What is in the mix for the future for Litwick?
You know, that's a good question. I didn't want LitWicks to just be a candle brand. So I have been thinking how to broaden that, the scope. And for me, it's more of, I don't know if you noticed, I just wanted to have a bigger offering. So I did do some branding, some custom wines that will go with the candle. I'm trying to create an ambiance, not just a candle store. So my goal is to offer candle packages that would encompass the things that you would use when you normally use a candle. So let's say you're going to get a basket from me, and inside of that basket not only will be your wine, will be your reusable burlap bag. Inside of that burlap bag will be your bottle opener. Then you'll get, you know, your water that would help quench your thirst after you drink your bottle of wine. Then you'll have, we have custom glasses. I actually have custom coasters that, you know, that you can actually put your candle on, you know, just things that would help set the ambiance. I recently did a staycation for a couple that was staying, that wanted to, you know, Stella wanted to get her groove back. You know? So I did. So I did a staycation for them. They didn't want me to post everything, but just setting the whole ambiance for her. She was just like, was what they needed. So it worked out really, really well for that. But that's something that I want to create, and for the future, I want to move in that direction.
I like that. While Amanda drinks her water. I wanted to ask you. I gotta get my question in before she comes back. What? Because like you don't do traditional candle stuff. Like, where do you get that? Like, I ain't gonna lie. I've always, whenever I see something that you're doing, I'm like, where did she get this idea from? Like, and then we and Amanda and myself have definitely been like, yo, how can we recreate? And I always try to, and I try to make sure I let you know, yo, inspired by LitWicks Candles, because y'all do great things. But where do you get these ideas from? Because you got so many dope ideas. Like,
you know, I'm gonna be honest and tell you that I'm a watcher, so I look a lot. I like to feed on what I think people may need, you know, their energy. You know, a lot of times, like, we're on Instagram, as you know, all the time, you know, but if you read through the little lines, you'll understand what maybe someone's reaching out for, and maybe what that need is. And I try to tap into that a lot with the things that I'm doing. As you know, a lot of people are at home now. They're either displaced from work, and there's been a lot of wine drinking, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Or a lot of, or a lot of need for the, you know, just a social engagement. you know?
Okay.
So for me, I wanted to, and I tap into that a lot. I don't know if you guys see that, but I try to tap into that, you know, just what that need may be, what that social engagement would look like, you know, how can I, you know, as a company help or add, you know, to what you're reaching for. And that's where a lot of the ideas come from. I'll just sit there and I'll say, you know, this is really good. Like I drink wine all the time. So I drink wine and I'll just say, wow, this would be nice to have like a specialty glass, or this would be nice if I just had this item to go along with it, it'd be great. You know, when you light your candles, you think, hey, I have a candle. I may or may not need a cigar. You know, I may or may not, you know, need whether it be a bottle opener or maybe even a sleep mask that I recently added, where someone's like, hey, I'm doing meditation on my wine. I wish I had a mask to put over my eyes. Well, guess what? We have that. We'll send you a free mask with your, you know what I mean, with your order. So now you have either a mask, which is never going away for your mouth, or you have a sleep mask that can actually help you as well while you're sleeping, while you drink the wine and or light your candle.
Yeah.
So
Like that. Because it's very creative. Like me and Amanda, we talk about it all the time. It's like, yo, I'm like, yo, what is this like? I want to support, and it's like, yo, I want to just keep supporting, because they keep coming up with more ideas for me to be like, that's dope, that's dope, that's dope, that's dope.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm really happy to see what you guys are doing. I'm constantly, you know, reposting it. I just love it. I'm you know, my hope is that the platform that you guys are using goes a long way, because I'm telling a lot of people about it, and I love the partnership that you're building, you know what I mean, and what we're doing now, because I think that it's needed, you know, and a lot of people, they don't understand these platforms, like what you're doing right now, how heavy, you know what I mean, and how important they are, you know, to our community. Right. Let's say, you know, just even hearing about new Black businesses, or even hearing about something that somebody could be sitting at home right now saying, you know, I really want to, you know, put that foot forward and start my business, and then seeing your podcast. And I talk about it all the time, like, well, you know, there's a podcast here that maybe you can even say, hey, I want to do a startup business. You know, what do I need to do to get there? And you can use your platform to help people get there that are scared or fearful, you know, or things like that. So I definitely appreciate it, and I'll keep pushing it forward, because I think it's necessary.
Thank you.
We definitely appreciate that. And for you, the same thing, like what you're doing is very necessary. Like, it's not like you're not just doing candles, like you say, you're doing a whole it's a whole ambiance.
Yes.
Like it's a whole situation. And I told you, when I opened the box, I just was like, I didn't even want to open it, because I was like, this is too good to take out. But we gonna move on. Amanda, you want to get her with the fill in the blanks, or would you like me to start with the fill in the blanks?
Fill in the blanks, man. Fill in the blanks.
Right.
It's on you.
All right. It's on me.
Excited.
What's this? Fill in the blanks.
It is
so
a
what
funny
it is,
game.
Yeah, it's just what it is. I'm gonna start a sentence. I'll leave out the blanks. You just gotta fill in the blanks. It's Well, hold on. One more question too. One more question before we get into fill in the blanks. You were saying that you like to do staycations, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're home, are you a Netflix person, or you?
I am. I'm Netflix. I'm all at Netflix, Disney Plus. Yeah.
Oh, so we're going to her house.
What's a movie that she's like? What kind of movies is Tracy into when she's lighting her candles and got her wine ready?
I'm more of a girly type movies. I like to watch things on repeat. So I'm like a Devil Wears Prada type of thing. If I'm not watching documentaries, I like to watch unrealistic movies. Is that right? Unrealistic movies. But yeah, I'm heavily into documentaries. A lot of food channels. I watch like the whole YouTube TV, you know, and just learning. Again, I like to capture a lot of my ideas from maybe old school, like older things as I'm watching it, you know, so I'm not really into like the new movies. Of course, I'll support the movies that come out that I feel are relevant, but I make sure that I tap into like old movies. For me.
Okay, so I baited you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I baited you.
No problem.
Coming to America too.
Goodness.
Okay. Disappointing.
What?
For me. I felt like it was more about the stars in the movie versus the movie. I just felt like they could have captured a little bit more of the Coming to America, the original, you know, for the new youth, you know what I mean? So they can understand, because a lot of the kids today, they're not going to go back and watch the original Coming to America. They're just going to watch Coming to America 2 and be like, oh, okay, you know, whereas we know what Coming to America was like for us, you know, it was really, really good. And I just felt like they missed that mark. It was good, but I felt like they missed that mark to me. And I focused on everybody who was in it versus, you know what I'm saying, versus the storyline.
Do you think the stars outpowered the actual
yes.
the plot of the plot of the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the hype of who was in it outplayed it as well. Because, you know, normally when we're going to see a movie or when there's a movie coming out, they'll, you know, do the plots on, you know, the storyline. They kept showing the same star scene. So you kind of expect the Tiana material. You kind of expect, you know, like you expected to see, you know, I missed the whole story. I ain't gonna lie, because I was busy looking at who was in it, you know, just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I was like, oh, they said this is gonna be in it. Let me make sure. So yeah. Yeah,
I got you. I could see that, because I know for myself, I was a little starstruck. I was like, oh, so in it. Oh, this person. Oh, that person. Yeah,
I had to watch it again. Because I was like, man, I missed the whole. I fell asleep the first time, so then I had to watch it to make sure. I'm serious. I was like so bored. I was like, what's going on? Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I need to get that Coming to America take from me. So since you said you like to do staycation. Yeah. All right. So fill in the blank. Sure. My scents should make people feel blank.
Beautiful.
Okay, I like that. Blank is an inspiration to me.
Positivity.
Okay.
Is an inspiration to me.
Okay. My favorite scent is blank. Oh, that's probably a hard one.
Creme de la coca. My favorite scent.
Creme de la coca.
Is my favorite scent.
Is that a candle you
Creme
have?
brulee. Creme brulee.
How do I get that?
I got you. Okay. Don't worry.
Okay. I need to
creme
see what
brulee,
this is.
hands down.
Because if this is your favorite, I need to see what this is about. I need to be about that life.
Creme brulee. Okay, I got you.
I like
all right,
that.
Do me a favor. All right, so can you kind of like describe what that scent like? What is that scent like? I've never heard of it. You got
creme brulee is a cross between a French vanilla custard and a caramel frappuccino.
Okay.
So blend it together to give a warm, like toasted coconutty vanilla. It's like a mixture. It's like a really blend of. It's a really sweet smell. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. Just so you guys. I'm gonna send you both.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you both.
Definitely appreciate it. I'm about to be educated. Okay.
That's it.
For real. For real.
Well, I know we kind of just spoke about it a little bit, but when I turn on the TV, I'm looking to watch blank.
When I turn on the TV, I'm looking to watch. That's a really good question, because I only turn on the TV to watch Netflix. Really, I don't watch news, so to think it through. Just something that's gonna probably ease my stress, make me laugh, comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, anything like Heaven Hard, or just something comical that I could watch. Okay. Yeah, when I turn on TV, anything to not have to face what we deal with every day.
Yeah,
I hear you on that.
Yes.
Yeah, the distractor from the real world for a minute.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, and then my last one, COVID-19 was a blank for me.
COVID-19 was a inspiration for me, because it made me step out and do things that I always had on my mind to do. Made me put my foot forward.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like what they say, you turned your lemons into lemonade.
Into lemonade, exactly.
I like that. I like that. All right, Amanda.
I got word associations.
Oh.
So I'm going to give you a word, and you come in, and of course you're gonna tell us what is the first thing that comes to mind. And why.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So Wine.
Relaxation.
Okay. Candles.
Mood.
I hear you on that one. Business.
Business, the first word that came to mind to me was momentum. I don't know why it's still sticking there.
Why
I like
momentum?
that. I like
Yeah,
that.
momentum.
I like
Why that word?
You know, I just feel like in business, you have to push yourself. And if you don't have that, don't expect somebody, friend or foe, to do it for you. If you don't do it for yourself, you know what I mean, and believe in it yourself, no one's gonna do it. So you have to have your own momentum. You have to get up every day, you know what I mean, and tell yourself, okay, today you're gonna do X, Y, or Z, and you have to get it done. And don't rely on anyone else to help you get there.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Giving back.
Success.
I hear you on that one. Society.
Dangerous.
I hear you on that one too. Social media.
Heavily influenced.
Oh, yes. I agree on that one too.
Yeah.
Community.
Network.
The future.
Promising.
That's good to hear. Purpose.
Fulfillment.
Dang, you kind of took one of my words. So, stress.
Toxic.
There is that in the world. There is that. Intention.
Pure.
Okay. Commitment.
Commitment. Strength.
Together.
Unity.
Yeah. And my last one is going to be LitWicks Candles.
Staple.
Okay. I like that. How you do it? You was doing the snaps? Okay. I like that. I like that. Hold on 1 second. I don't know. I said something. It started my dang Alexa. Hold on.
Oh, Alexa wanna have a party for that last one. I hear you, Alexa. I hear you. So, how did you feel about the whole games?
I loved them. I love interactive things. I think it allows us or who your interviewees to think a little bit beyond our norm. So I enjoyed it. As I think through, I tell you, I think a lot. As I think through, I was thinking like, wow, these are good questions. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't have thought on the spot. I was like, ooh, okay, I'm gonna have to see now. I'm gonna have to use that, write a candle, something. Oh, I'm gonna have to use some of those that I came up with. Yes, I really enjoyed it. It's really nice.
Well, I got a couple more questions before we let you go. But we definitely want to make sure you let everybody know how they can find you. But Swiss, we just brought up social media. I want to feel like you're mastering social media. But how do you feel? Do you prefer to be on social media? Or you like to see people in person?
I prefer seeing people in person. I really feel it's an energetic connection when you meet someone. On social media, honestly, you can hide behind anything. There's so much fake and so much fraud. You can only be who you truly are, and hope that translate into the things that you're doing, but I believe that when you really meet someone, that's when they're for real, and energy says everything about everyone. So that's how you know for sure, like, okay, this person is legit. Like sometimes you don't know, but you could tell when you meet someone. You have their good and your bad. So,
I got you.
It's always in person for me.
Okay, and with your business, is there anything that you know now that you wish you would have known from the beginning?
Yeah, I wish I knew development better. Development meaning, let's say, marketing strategies, or how to just to capture your business versus your audience. You know what I mean? And what allows these other companies outside of what we're doing today to make it? What did they do? That we need to do in order to employ that to make ourselves greater. With what we're doing.
I got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. And if somebody was listening to you right now, and like you say, not say emulate what you're doing, but somebody wants to start their own candle company, or just want to get into business in general, what advice would you give this young entrepreneur?
I would tell them to research, and to ask. Anyone that's not willing to share the information on how they got there, to me, you have to wonder what their motives are. You see, with me, I think that in a saturated market, you can still share what you know. It doesn't mean that they're going to capture the same person that you're capturing, the same audience, or even, have the same clientele. There's so many people in the world that they can have their own platform. So for me, I can tell you how I started, and I'm willing to share that information with anyone, or even help you with a website, or help. I'm always helping somebody with something, candles or not, but for me, it's sharing is caring. Sharing is a wealth. And the only way for you to get where you need to be is to share that. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, you'll be stagnant forever. If you think, oh, okay, I got this, I'm gonna be making candles and nobody's gonna know. Like I have, the magical potion. No, because you can go to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can go to YouTube. You can find it. Take the time. So I it's like each one teach one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I got another question that
sure.
Now that we talked about it. If you can recommend a candle or one of your candle come across to one of your ideal or idolized person, who would it be?
Who would the person be? I would say
what
Beyonce, but that would be
be
cliche, so I won't say her. But I think for me, if I could give any superstar or a candle, I would choose Lala. Because I think that she would be fair in her, response as to what she thought about the product. I think she's a realist, and she'll let you know good and bad and everything. So I would need somebody with honesty, not someone who's just going to shake their head and be like, yeah, you got something, you never hear anything after.
what candle would you give her?
And the candle that I actually would give her would be probably a lemon lavender.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I would give her a lemon lavender. She looks like she would just like something calming and, but yet sweet on the end. And I would enjoy it.
Okay. I like that. So if the people wanted to get some of that lemon lavender, how would they be able to? Lemon lavender. How would they be able to get some of that? How could they find you? How could they get some of that?
All right. So they can find LitWicks Candle online at www.litwickscandle.com, and that's LitWicks Candle, no S on the end.com. That would be the website, and they can also follow us on Instagram, LitWicks Candle. The handle is there. It's very easy to find. We are also on Facebook under LitWicks 21, which is weird. There's some other LitWicks out there, but you can find us on there. Yeah, on Facebook as well.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, I definitely appreciate you for taking the time with us. I'm definitely a fan of you and your work and your candles. Your inspiration to Irv and Co for sure. We want to make sure that I want to tell you personally that we appreciate everything that you're doing. And we wish you nothing but continued success in everything that you're doing. And before we leave, we always leave with a quote of the day. So I think it's very fitting. Today our quote is from Michael Jordan.
Jordan. Okay. All right, I'm liking it.
It says, I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeeded.
Wow.
When you think Michael Jordan, I don't think you think failure. I don't think you think he's failed.
I know.
But to hear him say that he's failed over and over and over again in life, and that's why he succeeds. That to me is promising. That makes me feel like, you know what? if the greatest of all times in basketball had to struggle to get where he got to, or had struggles in his life, who's for me to think
Right.
that I can't? You know, so.
And the funniest thing is they always say failure leads to success. So if you don't fail, then most likely, you may not be successful, because you have to fail in order to understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your fault.
Yeah. So we appreciate you for checking us out. We appreciate you for taking the time.
Thank
Amanda,
you.
you got anything for the Coast Guard before we get up out of here?
Check out the LitWicks Candles.
For sure. I'm a fan.
Thank you, Amanda.
I'm a fan.
Yes, check
I'm a
them out.
fan.
They could DM for a free sample. So just DM LitWicks on Instagram so you can get your free sample to try it.
For sure. All right, y'all be safe and stay dangerous. We'll see y'all on the next episode.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
You as well. All right now.
All right.
Help, we greatly appreciate you. Don't get as far as we're doing. Get as much as we got so far without you, so we appreciate you. Irv and Co. Irv and Co. If you're looking for a podcast, here you go. Irv and Co. Yeah.